Hey guys, what's up? Zax here. Today we're going to be talking about the first test in Jerez. Now, obviously in the background you're not going to be watching Jerez gameplay. I decided to switch it up a little bit and play a bit of R-Factor 2. This is racing around the Nürburgring, I think about 9 minutes of gameplay, so hopefully you enjoyed that. It's something a little bit different. I normally post F1 2013, but I decided just to switch it up a little bit for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, just let me know in the comment down below. But yeah, so Jerez will be the first test of the season, and obviously we'll have 2 more Bahrain tests after that. So this is going to be a sort of a big test. We're not going to learn a huge amount in terms of performance and how the teams are in relative terms to each other, but we're going to learn you know, how reliable these engines are and how reliable the cars are, and obviously how they look as well. I think there are a couple of cars that are going to be released and shown to the world before the Jerez test, but most of them will be shown off at the Jerez test. I think except from Lotus, which will be debuting their car in Bahrain. That's as I record this. It might be different to when this video goes up, so I'm sorry about that if the information has changed. But obviously Lotus missing the first test, which is not going to be ideal for them. I saw a vote on the official F1 website, and it was about 40% it will affect their performance, 40% it won't affect their performance, and the other 20% was just sort of unsure. So, you know, whether this is going to really affect Lotus, I'm not really too sure. I mean, Grosjean and Maldonado are going to really hope that it doesn't affect their performance in 2014. You know, it's a bit of a balance for Lotus, whether they, you know, have the extra time in the factory or have the extra track time. It's going to be a hard one because obviously you really want as much track time as possible. Simulators can work wonders in the season with no real testing, but really at the start of the season you really want to be out on track, is my personal opinion with that. So I think Lotus are going to miss big time out of missing this first test, but let me know what you think down in the comments down below. So what am I going to talk about in this video, you may think, because obviously we can't really pick up a huge amount from this test, you know, except for maybe how reliable the cars are and how they look. But I'm going to point out a couple of things I want to look out for in this test, and also want to be looking out for how the cars look obviously as well, because that's going to be a big thing for the 2014 season. So first off, we'll talk of the teams that I think you want to watch out for. I think you want to watch out for the bottom 2 teams, Caterham and Marussia. Now, you know, I say this because, you know, if their cars look a bit similar to the top cars, they might be in the chance of going up for the points. This is just a bit of a random thing to say here, but you know, you normally see that the back end teams have less parts on the front wing, and overall just the car doesn't look as sort of, you know, it doesn't look as detailed as the Red Bull cars do, for example. So I think we'll see at the first test how much of an improvement the Marussia and Caterham cars have in terms of just how the parts look and everything. You know, it's a bit of a sketchy thing to say because I do realise that who knows what's going to happen by the time we get to Australia. Certain parts might not work and all that sort of stuff, but you know, look out for those bottom 2 teams because they might have some really innovative stuff that the other teams haven't really thought of, because when you've got little money like the back teams, you've got to have sort of a lot of brain power instead of a lot of money. So we'll see what they come up with in the first couple of tests. I really hope that Caterham and Marussia are nearer to the main pack, and I really hope that they are fighting with the main pack, or you know, the mid pack, or whatever it is. I can't even name teams because this is such an unpredictable season. For example, if I was basing it on 2013, I would like to see Caterham and Marussia fighting with, for example, the Sauber, Force Indias, Williams, Toro Rossos. I'd like to see them fighting with them at least, and hopefully get them into the points the first time, which would be nice to see after they've already had 4 seasons in the sport with 0 points apiece. So that's unfortunate for them, but yeah, look out for them, see what parts they bring as they launch as well. If you see anything innovative, just tweet it to me, and I might get making a video on some of the new cars. I'm not too sure, I'm thinking about it, but I probably will be uploading some videos about the new cars when they release, and it won't be like a 2 or 3 minute video. I'll try and go in depth to the new cars and explain the bits that I see, and maybe get someone else's opinion on them as well. So that's just an idea. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. You know, maybe some sort of in detail of the new cars released for 2014. Next off, I think you want to watch out for the top team at the moment, which would be Red Bull. See what they bring to the table, how their car looks. Obviously, we know Adrian Newey is sort of a master of new regulations and all that sort of stuff. So look how the Red Bull looks. You know, look how it goes around the corners. Just see if it's planted to the track. Now, I know you can't really read into the times whatsoever through these tests, because I think a couple of years ago, I think it was like a Toro Rosso or a Williams was on the first was first in the test, and then they ended up getting like 2 or 3 points in the season. I think it was 2011. Williams were fastest in the first test, and you know, that 2011 didn't really work out for them. So we can't look at the times whatsoever. I mean, Jenson Button was, I think, fastest last year. So, you know, don't read into that too much. The times, well, don't really read into them whatsoever. You know, read into the times when we get to Australia. But, you know, really the things you've got to be watching out for, I think Sky F1 will be showing the test. I'm not sure if they'll be live or not, but I think they'll be showing at least some highlights of the test. So just see how the cars go around the corner, whether they're planted. Jerez is a bit of a weird track in that it isn't really a modern day F1 track. You don't see any sort of modern day F1 tracks like that. It's obviously one of the classics. You know, you may have driven it in Formula 1 2013, but it's not really sort of suited to modern day Formula 1 cars, if you know what I mean. So, you know, just bear that in mind when they're driving around. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be 110% like they may be in Bahrain, which is an actual F1 circuit, but I don't know, that's just personal opinion. I don't think Jerez is the greatest track to test cars, well, Formula 1 cars that is, just because I don't think, well, I think it's sort of Formula 1's outdated Jerez in that aspect, just a bit of a too small track to see the cars on the limit. But, you know, just see how the cars are planted to the track, with their sliding around, coming out the corners, and, you know, whether they're, you know, just going around the corner flat, there's no sort of, you know, sort of sliding or oversteer or understeer. You don't want to be seeing any of that, but obviously this first test will be a lot down to sort of engine failures, component failures, because this is a massive regulation. I think it's one of the biggest regulations we've had in the last 10 years, or biggest regulation changes, I should say. And you know, so it's probably going to be quite a lot of stuff breaking down. I think we'll have cars breaking down probably at least to the halfway point of the season. We'll see cars breaking down probably each and every race. But you know, see how these engines are. You know, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Renault, obviously the 3 engines this year. See how they're performing. See if maybe, for example, loads of Renault engined cars are breaking down. That might be a bad thing for them. So I don't know. That's just one thing to think about there. The engines. Obviously, if you see a lot of Renault engines breaking down, that's not going to be a good sign for them. Especially with Red Bull, they all seem to be very fast, but their components do seem to fail quite a bit in comparison to other cars, I should say. So that's just a couple of pointers that I've sort of came up with for this first test. Hopefully you guys have got some comments down below. And yeah, so I've been really enjoyed making this video, guys. Let me know if you want to see more R Factor 2 gameplay in the background. I don't think this was recorded in the highest resolution. I can probably up the resolution of the recording, so it can look a little bit better than it does here. But unfortunately, I didn't really have the space on my hard drive to do that for this episode. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's been Axe, I'm out here. Goodbye. Hi guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video. It is much appreciated. If you have any comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and hopefully I'll respond to as many as possible. If you want to check out GT Omega, there is also a link down in the description. Also some sales on recently, as it is Christmas time, so if you want to grab a bargain there, it might be one down in the description. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching. It's been Axe, and I'm out of here. Goodbye.